Don't be bashful. Call on in.
Good morning, Mr. President and team. The Vice President is online. Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you. Good morning. We are back on the record. The time is 8 a.m. The date is June 16th, 2025. The commission and its staff are again appearing from the commission's Bollinger Room in Helena, Montana. This is day number 6 of the scheduled public hearing in docket 2024.05.053 involving the application of Northwestern Energy for authority to increase retail electric and natural gas utility service rates and for approval of service schedules, cost allocation, and rate design. We have with us today Commissioner Bukacek. Online, we have Vice President Fielder, we have Commissioner Wellborn, and myself, of course, chairman of this hearing. To begin the day, I will ask first for public comment. Please note that this session is being recorded and all comments received will be public records. So please do not include confidential or private information in your comments. To ensure we can get the witnesses who have traveled to be here today, we will need to impose time limits on public comment, which I believe for today will be fairly liberal in that. We'll go 5 minutes if necessary per commenter. To ensure that we can get the witnesses who have traveled to be here today, we will need to impose. We have no public commenters in person with one possibility. And David Newrick, is there David Newrick in the room? Seeing none. And we will have, we currently have 3, perhaps 4 that will be online. We have 1 hour reserved for public comment this morning, so each commenter will have 5 minutes to speak. And then almost immediately after we're done, we will restart the hearing. We will begin with any commenters in the room, still seeing none, and then move to commenters online. For commenters in the room, I will call on those who have registered first. Did Mr. Newrick show up? Okay, not. So we'll go on to online. I will call on those who have registered in the order that they have registered. So we will start with Aubrey LeBear. We will come back to Aubrey in a moment. Next we have Larry McEvoy, MC, capital EVOY from Belize. Larry, are you online?
I am, Mr. President. Thank you for having me this morning.
You bet.
Are you hearing me okay, it sounds like?
Absolutely fine, sir.
Great. My name is Larry McEvoy. I live west of Billings. I'm a small business owner now. I'm also a physician and was a CEO of a large health system in Colorado before I got here that happened to be municipal. So I appreciate the nuances, I guess, of you handling all the stakeholders and appreciate the role you all serve on our behalf. I've got, I think, 3 things I'd like to say today very briefly, having looked at Northwest Energy's request and the numerous online commentary from all sides on it. The first is that, as we all know, we had a rate increase in 2023, and they're asking for another one now. And I certainly appreciate all the many complexities of running a power organization these days with what's going on in the markets in the world. I would comment that it seems to me that in a free market situation, between a provider, a company and its investors and its customers, there should be pretty free flow of market decisions on rates, et cetera. In this case, it seems that the customers, people of Montana, are being asked to handle much of the risk without the reward, while the investors are more protected with regard to the reward and less of the risk. So I would ask you all to just consider, as our mediators of the citizens of Montana, that sharing that risk and reward more equitably may be a good idea. The investors know they're going into an investment that has risk. In this case, it's somewhat protected by the fact that they have a monopoly, and I understand on the upside probably mitigated by the fact that as a regulated monopoly, their upside isn't as high. But I'd like to see the risk not unloaded unduly onto the people of Montana as paying customers, given that we don't share in the upside of the return. The second thing I'd like to say is that I don't think any of us want higher power rates. It goes without saying. But I sure would much more rather pay for higher power rates if we were innovating toward future solutions rather than patching up things that aren't going to work very well. I'm not saying Northwest Energy doesn't do its job well, but their strategic plan isn't moving us as fast as even they say they would toward a zero carbon power solution. And it seems to me that paying for a increase that has some of these riskier, more rearward looking, buttressing, if you will, of their current business model does not make us happy as rate holders. The third thing I'd say, I guess parenthetically, and then I'll get off stage and allow you all to do your work, is that as a physician, one of the things we're trained in very early is sorting through research, data, scientific literature, and being aware of, what's just bias or an occasional paper that says this or that, but it doesn't really hold up. And I know there may be some eye rolling about the whole idea of carbon and climate science. I'd just like to say, as a medical scientist, it's what we call settled science. It's clear that putting more carbon in the air is not going to be good for us economically, financially, or health-wise. And so I think that comes into this equation as well from my standpoint as a customer, is that paying for something that's going to cause damage that at some point economically we're going to be asked to clean up doesn't feel very good as well. That's really the thrust of my comments. I thank you all for listening. I thank you for the job that you do on behalf of us. And I'm done for today.
Thank you, Dr. McAvee. Is Lori Byron on? Lori, B-Y-R-O-N. Lori is not on. We're going to circle back to Aubrey LeBray. Is Aubrey on? Aubrey,
Hi, I'm here. Hello.
okay, please proceed. And
Okay.
welcome back. You weren't, you were scheduled last week and couldn't make it, so we're glad that you're sticking with it. Thank you.
Thank you. And I appreciate your last minute scheduling. I'm sorry. My job involves me sometimes making last minute appointments to things, so I appreciate your flexibility too. Um, I mostly just wanted to say on behalf, I'm speaking on behalf of myself, but also on behalf of my partner and his family, who are fourth generation Montanans and generation Bozemanites. I wanted to specifically say I've watched his family getting slowly and surely priced out of their homes and priced out of not only Bozeman, but general Montana. People are moving to other places because they can't always afford to live here. And I think this is only going to contribute to that issue. We are already paying $1,200 for a small one bedroom apartment, for which is supposed to be low income housing in the area. And we're watching those rates go up. And from what I understand, Northwest is even proposing to increase that more in the coming years, when things have already been really tough economically for the majority of Montanans. So I think this is just only going to increase rates of native Montanans not being able to afford the places that they love and the places that they're from. I think we're just pricing out the people, the hardworking people that live here and the hardworking people that make this state run and are proud to be from this state. Um, I'm actually a climate scientist. So I also understand the implications of, instead of pursuing alternative avenues for energy, Northwest continuing to pursue this route, and also kind of gridlocking the state to where we don't really have any other options. If they were to provide more options instead of what they're currently providing to us, then that'd be one thing, but that's also not happening. And I don't want to continue to support something that is increasing the wildfire capacity. We've seen it firsthand in the summers here in Montana. We've seen how the increase in wildfires. We've seen the increase in temperatures slowly every year, and that's just in Montana. Imagine the rest of the country and the rest of the world and that kind of impact. And I think these are both just critical things. Like that, these are some of the two most critical issues, as we know, in the 2024 election. Inflation and the increase of price of everything it was the number one issue on voters' minds in Montana and in the country. And climate change is also a huge factor in the way people vote and the way people move about the world and the way people even organize their lives, whether or not they're going to have children, whether or not they're going to travel or do the things they want to do because they care deeply about the impact of the planet and what that means um, for their everyday citizens, for themselves. So I think those should be the focus because that's what the people have decided the focus should be. And I don't think this is helping anyone but Northwest. I don't think this is helping. I understand that inflation happens and rates need to rise in that way, but we have not seen a match in our salaries. We've not seen a match in our rent, and it's only going to hurt us. And so I beg you, please don't go through with these spikes. Thank you.
Thank you, Aubrey. Checking, is Lori Byron online? Is David Nurick online? So, seeing no further public comment online, let's move on to questions from the parties. Do either of the parties have any informal questions before we resume the evidentiary hearing? Due to a lack of parties, not necessarily a lack of interest, we had a very short public comment today. So, what do you think? 8:15, 8:20? Okay, we're going to recess until 8:30, at which time we will hear if any of the parties have questions, and if not, we will resume right back into the rate case. Thank you. We're back on the record. We're back to, do any parties have any questions before we proceed? Seeing none, Northwestern may call their first witness.
Thank you, Mr. President. The MCC is going to call the first witness today.
He said in a most shocked and surprised manner.
MCC calls Dr. David Dismukes.
Do any interveners have any cross-examination for Dr. Demukes?
Mr. Chairman, I'll just admit his testimony real quick and then get right to that.
Okay.
Not
Cool.
yet.
Dr. Demukes, you weren't here for the original swearing in?
No, sir, I was not.
Do you affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and without purpose of evasion?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you.
Good morning, Dr. Dismukes.
Morning.
Welcome to Montana.
Thank you.
Would you please state your full name for the record?
David E. Dismukes.
And by whom are you employed?
I'm a consulting economist with the Acadian Consulting Group.
And what's your title there?
I'm a consulting economist.
And did you file multiple sets of direct pre-filed testimony in this case?
Yes, sir, I did.
Before you have hopefully a copy of your direct testimony marked as Exhibit MCC 3. Do you have any changes or corrections to make to your direct testimony?
No, sir.
If I asked you the same questions today under oath, would your answers be the same?
Yes, sir, they would be.
Mr. Chairman, I would move for the admission of Exhibit MCC 3.
No objection.
Seeing no objections, it is admitted.
And similarly, did you file pre-filed cross-answering testimony in this case?
Yes, sir, I did.
We've marked that as Exhibit MCC 4. Do you have any changes or corrections to that testimony?
No, sir, I do not.
And if I asked you the same questions today, your answers would be the same?
Yes, they would.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move for the admission of Exhibit MCC 4.
Without exception, MCC 4 is admitted.
And then did you file settlement testimony on the partial electric settlement in this case?
Yes, sir, I did.
And same questions. Do you have any changes or corrections, or would any of your answers change if I asked you the same questions today?
No changes, corrections, and they would all be the same.
Okay, and we've marked this as Exhibit MCC 6. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd move for the admission of Exhibit MCC 6.
Without exception, MCC 6 is admitted.
And finally, did you file pre-filed gas settlement testimony?
Yes, sir, I did.
And same questions. Do you have any changes or corrections?
No, sir, I do not.
And today your answers would be the same?
Yes, sir, they would be.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move for the admission of Exhibit MCC 8.
Without exception, MCC 8 is admitted.
And with that, Dr. Dismukes is available for cross-examination.
Do any interveners have cross-examination for this witness?
Yes, Mr. President, Northwestern would like to proceed.
Please proceed.
Good morning, Dr. Dismukes.
Morning.
I have some questions for you on the Yellowstone County Generating Station, or YCGS.
Yes,
If I have an exhibit for you, I will share it with my screen and you'll be able to see it on that.
Okay, right.
Northwestern's acquisition of YCGS is based on the needs it identified in its 2019 Electricity Supply Resource Procurement Plan, correct?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And in that 2019 plan, Northwestern identified the need for new generation to be able to serve customers at critical times, correct?
Yes, ma'am, they did.
To address the need for generation at critical times, Northwestern issued a January 2020 request for proposals, or RFP, for new resources, correct?
Yes, ma'am, they did.
And in that 2020 RFP, Northwestern required that proposals for out-of-state generation had to include transmission arrangements to get the power to Northwestern system, correct?
That's correct.
And in the 2020 RFP, Northwestern stated it would give preference to a resource that could start delivery in 2023, correct?
Correct.
Mr. President, may I go into confidential session to discuss some of the bids in this RFP?
Hey, I've been advised that we should take a 5-minute recess so that we can go into confidential. Those who have not signed a confidentiality agreement will not be allowed to stay. Press and media shall also not be allowed to stay. If any press is online, we would ask that they go offline. We'll do our best to accomplish that, and we'll bring you back online when we go public. So starting right now, 8:37, 5 more minutes would be 8:42. We'll come back live at